What's up, everybody? Welcome to After the Final Whistle, football talk with John and Montel.
What about
Uh,
the Chargers? Who they taking with 17?
Chargers is defensive tackle out of Georgia. Makes sense. They couldn't stop the run for the most of the year.
Yeah,
Um,
you see the measurables
so
on this guy? 6'6", 340. It's a bus.
yeah. Mm-hmm. You
Literally a freaking
know
phone booth.
you know where he needs to be drafted.
Don't
The
say Green
Packers.
Bay. I don't want to. No,
The Packers
I can't
pick.
have it.
Packers pick. I mean, they were on 3-4. Let's go. Him,
Yeah, y'all
Kenny
can't
Clark.
have him.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, he's. I'm just gonna say this. When he played against Alabama, he was ragdolling some of these 5-star recruits that Bama has. They couldn't move him. Dude, he's just a monster. And kind of like I was saying about Sauce Gardner, the competition he had in some of those games in the trenches and against like Bama and LSU, um, he's not going to see that much better all the time in the NFL. So, uh, yeah.
Yeah,
I think he'll be successful. He can also move real good for a big dude. He's like a dancing bear. That's a very uh, Brian Baldinger thing to say, but it's true.
I agree. But let's go get some D-line help. Stop that run. Uh, who are the Saints taking with the 18th?
Hopefully nobody. Just kidding. Kenny Pickett, quarterback out of Pitt. The king of the fake slide. I think he's
Okay. I thought I
that's the
saw.
guy. Yeah. That's the dude that did the fake slide.
Made it where they
um,
had to change the rule this upcoming year.
yeah. They had to increase enforcement like midway through the season. It was great. Um, I I don't know if I like him or Willis better. Pickett probably has like a higher floor than what Malik Willis does, and probably like a slightly higher ceiling. Um, Maybe a little bit lower ceiling than Malik Willis, but he won't be a train wreck. At worst, he'll be a career backup that could win you 5 or 6 games if a quarterback went down. So, I think it's a pretty decent pick by the Saints. I just threw up in my mouth a little bit, but yeah, I think it's decent nonetheless.
So this is what I don't get is the biggest question that people inside the NFL have said is his hand size. He has small hands. College footballs are, I guess, fatter than NFL footballs.
Yeah, I think they're fatter and a little bit shorter than the NFL
So
ones, but the NFL ones are massive.
so I'm just like I don't understand why small hands affect, but
I think people who look at stuff like that just want to find something to bitch about. Honestly, when it comes to some of these prospects, um, he's played at a pretty high level at I'm not going to say a big time program, but a reasonably sized program. You guys can find something else to nitpick about besides his small hands.
because I want to say the same thing was said about Joe Burrow coming out, and look at him.
Yeah, made it to the Super Bowl a year after an ACL tear.
Yeah, I saw earlier that he got ready to do his off-season training after spraining his MCL in the game.
Yeah, I figured he was hurt pretty bad. He got up limping. Is this a Phillies last pick at 19
Uh,
of the first round?
I don't know if it's completely their last pick, but it's their last pick out of the 5. Um, Chris Olave, wide
Olave.
receiver, Olave, wide
Mhm.
receiver out of Ohio State.
So this dude pretty much should probably go to jail for as bad as he assaulted Utah in their bowl game. He's fast. I mean, dude can fly. So Philly's clearly going for a mold here. They want to be fast. They got Smith, Rager, and their quarterback also was like a 4.5 or 4.6. So I think they're trying to build a track team like what they got in Kansas City.
So we have Devonta Smith, number 1, Rager out of the slot, and then Olave is number 2. That's kind of terrifying.
He's more of a slot receiver, I think. He's a little bit short. I think he's like 5'11" or something. So he'll probably play the slot, and those other two will probably be on the outside. But that doesn't mean he won't be the first or second option. You know, slot receivers it's a money position now.
Right. And then you have Jalen Hurts, who can just run it. And then you have the tight end, who I'm blanking on the name.
Oh crap! You would ask me. I probably know if I see it. Dallas Goedert, I think.
Yes, that's the one. So
Yeah,
I mean, they're getting there on the offensive side.
Yep.
Just need one of those to step up.
That's their Achilles heel. I feel like that's their punishment for trading Shady. McCoy.
Right. All right, 20th pick overall, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Select Matt Corral, quarterback out of Ole Miss. Big Ben's retired, so they're gonna have to trade for one or draft one. And I don't know about you, Mason Rudolph's a bust, and so is Dwayne Haskins. So,
coming out is they're saying Mason Rudolph could.
I hope not. He's terrible. The only thing he's good at catching is like helmets to the face. He's pretty bad. Yeah, don't laugh. Don't. Miles Garrett is a savage.
Yeah. All right. So moving on here, the 21st overall pick, the Patriots. We'll take Jamison Williams, wide receiver.
Always do. I definitely draft anybody.
I fully expect them to trade out. I mean, they always do.
They hate paying first round picks. They hate it. Jamison Williams. So he's probably just like the rest of the Alabama receivers that have come out like the last 4 or 5 seasons. They're all fast and they can all run like 85% of the route tree. So I don't know if Belichick would even like a Alabama receiver because they're not small white guys that play the slot.
Does he have that connection with Mac Jones? Did they play together when Mac?
I think he might have been there, but I don't think he played.
Gotcha.
The Las Vegas Raiders. That sounds gross.
Your favorite team.
My favorite team out of the AFC, absolutely. That just sounds gross. The Las Vegas Raiders. Who are they picking at 22?
This is your pick, sir.
Oh, is it? Oh, Andrew Booth Jr., cornerback, Clemson. Clemson had a bad year this year. I don't know if I'd be drafting a corner from Clemson if I were the Raiders, but
I mean, if I were the Raiders, I'd be drafting a wide receiver.
Yep. I'm not gonna make a comment because the guy who they drafted last year is an idiot. So I'm just gonna move on to the Arizona Cardinals, who are picking who.
With the 23rd pick overall, the Arizona Cardinals take George Karlaftis, defensive end. Sure, them two.
Yeah.
Karlaftis. See, I still feel like I said it wrong.
It's just these weird names, man. Damn millennials. I don't know a lot about the dude. Like a lot of these, like tail end of the first round picks, you know. Uh, I do know he's a hybrid guy. He's built like a heavy 4-3 defensive end, so he can probably play a little bit of both. Stand up defensive end, maybe some 3-4 defensive end as well. I just think he'll be solid. You know, like a lot of the players that tend to play on the Arizona Cardinals defense. They draft a lot of defense lately, haven't they? Like 2 linebackers the last 2 years, and this year a defensive end in this mock, I should say.
But I think yes, but they take Rondell Moore in the first round last year.
Did they have more than one first round pick last year? Because I think they drafted a guy from Tulsa too. It was a middle linebacker.
That I don't remember.
What pick are we on? Oh,
Or
we're on
maybe
24.
Rondell Moore was early second round pick.
It's pretty much a first round pick, though.
Yeah.
What about our mostest favoritist team, the Dallas Cowboys? Who are they picking?
Why don't you tell me, since I butchered the last name?
I figured I'd give you an easy one. Trayvon Walker, defensive end out of Georgia.
Sure, get more speed on the defensive side of the ball.
No, I don't think you need more. Quit drafting defense. Let your defense suck and be an offensive only team like the rest of the league wants you to be. But on a serious note, there's a pretty consistent theme here. A lot of these dudes from the Georgia defense are getting drafted for a reason. So he'll probably be a pretty solid pick for him. I'd imagine playing at Georgia, they run at 3-4. He's probably a solid body kind of guy, so probably like 6'4", like 280 maybe. So he'll probably play defensive tackle, like a 3 technique for them. So
yeah, I'm just looking at some free agents that they could be losing. You're looking at Randy Gregory, Dalton Schultz, Michael Gallup, Connor Williams, Leighton Vander Esch, and Jaron Curse.
So, the only 2 out of that I'd be concerned about would be Vander Esch and Gallup. The rest of them I'd probably let walk.
Yeah, I might try to keep Dalton Schultz because he's the tight end, but
he'd be like a very low on your priority list kind of guy.
Yeah. So with the 25th overall pick here, the Cincinnati Bengals finally get some protection for Joe Burrow. Trevor Penning, offensive tackle, Northern Iowa.
I've been waiting on this pick. I have been. At the Senior Bowl, during their 101s, he literally threw a guy into the goalpost and jumped on top of him. Mean son of a bitch. I think he'll kind of establish like a culture there. The Bengals don't want to be the doormat of the AFC North anymore. So this dude being from Iowa, Northern Iowa, small school, but if you're getting drafted 25th overall from a small school, you've got to have some talent.
Yeah, and I mean, Joe Burrow was sacked 55 times. I still feel like they made the right choice looking back, because I know everyone wanted them to take Penei Sewell last year, but they went with Jamar Chase. I don't think to the Super Bowl if they didn't have Jamar.
No,
Flip those picks around.
I don't think so either. I think Sewell would have been like the less flashy pick, so he'll probably he'll probably play 10 or 12 years. Jamar Chase will probably play 9 or 10. So I mean, you're splitting hairs at that point. Um, but the impact position it's definitely wide receiver more so than offensive tackle. Um, I'm kind of with you. I don't think they made a bad choice by picking up Chase instead of Sewell.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us who the Dolphins are taking?
Scroll past it. Hold on. Jahan Dotson, wide receiver out of Penn State. They got this pick from San Francisco. So I don't know if you've picked up on this, but rumor is Tua is not really liked very much by his teammates, apparently. I don't see why they wouldn't draft a quarterback instead if that's the case.
Yeah. Looks like they're just trying to get some more playmakers on the wide receivers.
Yeah, Tua. I don't think Tua is it. That's just me.
No, I don't think so either. You put Dotson with, see how things go.
Yeah. Hopefully he's fast. Let's
Hopefully.
see. Buffalo Bills select
Trent McDuffie, cornerback, Washington. Cornerback, Washington.
they've got a guy just opposite of Tre'Davious White. Washington corners they're usually pretty press heavy, so I know the Bills want to play physical defense, so I think that's probably a good pick for them.
Yeah, get some depth because Tre'Davious White ended his season in November. I mean, you hope for the best, but if he loses a step after that knee injury.
Yeah, they've got somebody to step in, maybe not take over, but somebody that can at least step in. So,
Keep the production level the same.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be the same because Tre'Davious White's like an All-Pro, but maybe just like a step below. I think they'll survive. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Go
You
ahead.
want to tell us who the Lions are taking with the Rams pick?
They're taking Sam Howell, quarterback out of North Carolina. He seems like he's been there forever. They've been talking about him for it seems like 4 or 5 years now. I know he's a little bit undersized, like maybe like 6'1", 6'1", 6'2", somewhere in there. Probably running the 4.6s, 4.7. He's reminds me of like a slightly more mobile Aaron Rodgers. So I hope he doesn't pan out just because he is allegedly getting drafted by the Lions, but I think the Lions would be happy with a decent quarterback that's not named Jared Goff.
True, but the last North Carolina quarterback in the league.
Oh God. Yes, it was, but he was. But to be fair, he was a top 10 pick. So, that's kind of Chicago's fault for drafting that high. He didn't need to be drafted that high.
Right. All right. So next pick, Kansas City Chiefs.
Cameron Thomas. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
The Chiefs take Cameron defensive end, San Diego State. They do need help on every level of the defensive side of the ball, so makes sense picks.
Yeah, they were. Their defense was pretty much a liability up until like the last 4 or 5 games of the season. So they did the smart thing, and last year they signed Orlando Brown or traded for him. They signed who's the guard from the Patriots? Can't think of his name, but they signed a left guard. They drafted Creed Humphrey. They drafted a guy out of Tennessee, so they pretty much rebuilt it in the season. So, yeah, I'm with you. They need help on defense bad. Could probably go DB as well, just because they don't really have any good ones besides Tyrann Mathieu, and he's probably only got a couple more seasons left in him.
Yeah, I mean, if draft pans out differently and one of those DBs that was taken earlier drop, I could see him taking one of them.
Yeah, for sure. How about, let's see, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 30. They're taking DeMarvin Leal, defensive lineman out of Texas A&M. So he's probably, from what I've seen, like highlight wise, is probably like strictly a 3 technique. He probably has the body to play the 1, but he doesn't play like a 1 or a 0 technique. He's got a real good first step. He's listed at about 290. But yeah, another Gerald McCoy-esque pick for the Buccaneers, or Warren Sapp. They've always had a good 3 technique, so I think that's a good pick for them too.
Yeah. All right. Tennessee Titans here at 31. Kyler Gordon, cornerback, Washington. What are the
And they had
odds that
another
I got
one.
both of the Washington cornerbacks?
Yeah, really slim actually, but it says a lot about Washington that they have 2 corners that could possibly get drafted in the first round. And they just play good defense, and honestly, they probably have it to their advantage that they play in the Pac-12. So it's a lot easier to have a good defense when there's only like 3 or 4 good teams.
Right. And then, hopefully Caleb Farley comes back after tearing his ACL. So, because I think they took him first round last year.
I think so. Yeah, I don't remember him playing much. I don't even remember hearing his name said on TV. So, I think he only played like 2 games, right?
Yeah, like 1 or 2 games, and then tore his ACL and was out for the season.
That sucks, man. I know this next one's mine, but since it's your team, I'll let you go ahead and take that one.
Well, I appreciate it. With the 32nd pick, the Green Bay Packers take Trey McBride, tight end, Colorado State.
I do believe he's the best in the class. Not like just saying that because he's the first tight end, but it's like not even close. He's the best tight end in the class. So, who do you have? What do you guys have? Like Sternberger, and who's the other guy that you hate and never catches anything?
Oh no, Sternberger's the one that I hate. Robert Tonyan's the GOAT for the Packers tight end, but he tore his ACL in October, and he is also a free agent. So, with the Packers
probably
being
won't be
over,
seeing him.
I mean, I can't see him coming back. So, Sternberger is not panned out. You have Mercedes Lewis, who great leader, great run blocker, not so great at catching the ball.
Not anymore.
So,
Wasn't you always talking to where if he's in the game, you automatically know it's going to be a run play because he can't run anymore?
pretty much. So looks like he's got a solid stat line. 90 passes for 90 passes. That don't make no sense. He caught 90 passes. Okay. For 1,121 yards. Doesn't say any scores, so that's kind of concerning a little bit. But he's also a good blocker, so if Aaron Rodgers walk and we are in the Jordan Love era, giving him extra time would not be a bad thing.
No, he's think about 6'4", weighs about 260. It's what the Draft Network says. So he's about the same size as what you got. I think Tanya's like 6'7", so a little bit shorter, but I think he'll probably make up for that in speed a little bit. So
Yeah,
hey,
and another thing that I'm looking at is like this pick makes it seem like if Rodgers walked, they're getting Jordan Love like a
hmm, almost like they should have drafted a weapon for Aaron Rodgers instead of a quarterback that might not pan out. Hmm.
I've moved on with that part of my life.
I'm sorry, I couldn't
That
resist.
that pick made no sense then, and all Aaron has done is 2 MVP since then.
Yep. Way to make them eat shit. Honestly. Oh, so with that, that's the 32 picks. We'll maybe do this in another form or fashion. We'll see how it goes. What do you think, buddy? 2 weeks? See you in 2 weeks or maybe three?
Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks. We'll talk about it, get it ironed out, keep the content flowing for everybody here.
It was fun. I'm sorry. The Packers are so dope. I'm just okay. I'm done. So we you can leave a voice message from the show notes. You can also send us a question via email or maybe just feedback. We appreciate feedback too at after the final whistle podcast at gmail.com. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts. Jon and I have kind of thought about branching out a little bit and maybe doing like a Zoom or put it on YouTube or something like that to kind of expand the fan base a bit. But we'll have some updates on that later. Other than that, man, I ain't got nothing. You got anything?
Uh, Trivia question.
Oh shit. Okay, go ahead.
Um, I think it's been since 2018. What quarterback has the most rushing touchdowns?
It's somebody I don't expect. I guarantee it. Uh, did they switch teams last year?
No, they're still on the same team they were drafted by.
Is
It's
it
an
Josh
AFC
Allen?
team. Yes, it is Josh Allen. He
So it's
has
got
like
to be him or Lamar.
um, Josh Allen. I think the number I saw was 41, and Lamar is at 31. So
Oh,
that
so far.
rushing touchdowns than Lamar.
So far, yeah, that's a pretty big gap.
Yeah, like I saw that, I was like, that don't make no sense. And then I was like,
This is
that's a big gap,
this is me when you said the number. Damn. Okay, I see.
right? Right. But no, other than that, that's all I had.
Well, we so we appreciate you all tuning in, and like I said, if you got any questions, feel free to shoot us an email or leave us a voicemail message. I'm Montel. That's Jon. I'm saying peace.
And until next time, everybody.
We'll be right back with a quick message from one of our sponsors. I get asked quite a bit how Jon and I went about spinning up a podcast so quick. We use an application or a platform called Anchor. It has the tools that allow you to upload and record your podcast right from your phone or your computer. I've done both, and they're really quick and simple to use. When hosting a podcast on Anchor, you can distribute it quickly on various platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, and Pocket Cast. It has everything you need all in one place, and best of all, it's completely free. Download the Anchor app from your Play Store or your Apple Store, or go to anchor.fm to get started today.